was encouraged to see so many stocks setting up in bases, and that's what 6 weeks of this chop city will do. Anyway, and we saw some of these stocks break out today, but you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. Welcome to my daily review. The Nasdaq was up 126 points or 0.64% on 3% above this average 50-day volume. But a couple of important things about the Nasdaq today. One, the low of the session is above the 21, and the high was above last week's high of 19,709. I posted on MC Stock Charts. That's the first hurdle, I believe, that we need to get over. And the next one would be 2007. That would be our next target here. And it closed today at 19,756. So we can get there in a hurry. So very encouraging action for the Nasdaq as the 6 weeks of chop suey. I'm not saying that it's over, but it looks like it had a follow through day on Friday and today, powered higher. So that's very positive and constructive action for the index. And I like having the index at my supporting my stocks. I find it much easier to trade when the index is trading higher. All right, so I'm going to go to the Dow Jones Industrial Average today. That was a index that was up 1.24%. You could say that had its follow-through day today, 538 points. Yeah, 1.24%, close at 44,025, 12% above average 50-day volume and above Friday's options expiration volume. So that's a pretty impressive move. And a follow-through day for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We'll take a look at the SPY, up 0.92%, got above 600. That's a milestone. You can see it broke its downtrend line on Friday. If you'll indulge me here, just yeah, hit it like 5 times, broke above it on Friday, and now rallied again here today. The volume was a little lighter here, 16% below the 50-day average volume. So, for those volumologists, you don't like seeing that, but you got to like the move back above 600 in the SPY. And then the IWM, one point, almost a 2% move here. The volume was lighter than Friday's volume, but up 2%, we'll take it. Remember, in the IWM, it's about 17% of these small bank stocks, so the regional banks. So anyway, I'm going to move on because I trade stocks, not indexes, but I do like to have those indexes at supporting my trading. And I'm going to go through the Batman stocks first of all, the Broadcom. A lot of stuff going on here today, and I'm going to go kind of quickly, because I have a lot of areas to get to. This one broke above that downtrend line today on Broadcom. Yeah, you got to like that action here if you own that. The nice little flagging pattern here. So Broadcom acting well after the gap up from its earnings, consolidated, pulled back to its 21, found support, now moving higher. Apple is the second stock in my Batman names. Anyway, if you saw, Apple, if you didn't sell this here on this bar when it sliced to 21, in a market like this, I don't know, anything that slices to 21, you got to get rid of something. I think, you don't want to sit there and hold it because this is what happens. So slices 21, you didn't get rid of it, you held on to it, hoping. What day was that? The second. So it was the first trading session of the year. I don't know if there was news or not. There's been a lot of reports that Apple's been losing market share in China, and we heard that again today. And then on the 10th, it fell 2.5%, sliced its 50. It's adios muchachos, for me all the way. It rallied, if you could call that, it rallied up to its 50, got rejected there, the Matambo treatment. Then it had this bar on the 16th. That was last Thursday. That is a nasty bar, down 4%. For me, I mean, if you're holding this longer term and you're an Apple fan and that's fine, getting the dividends and all that. But if you're a swing trader, there's no way I can tolerate that type of downturn in my stock. So anyway, that's enough of Apple. Tesla didn't fare too well today either. Down a 0.5%, just pulled back to its 21. Tesla's okay. I think you could do better. A lot of speculation that with Musk having buddying up to the president that he's going to curry favors. But I don't like trading that way. I just look at the chart and Tesla's fine. It just pulled back to the 21, and I'm not a fanboy here. Like I say, I think you could do better than Tesla. Anyway, Microsoft, oh boy, you can do better than Microsoft too. This is just an ugly chart. I can't even look at this. Meta platform, Zuckerberg, Zuckerberg is a chameleon. He'll do anything, to enhance, shareholder value, which, as a shareholder, you got to appreciate. But this thing is pinching in here pretty nicely here above 600. They have earnings on the 29th, and we're in earnings season now, and earnings is where the rubber meets the road. That's where your stock's gonna have appreciation, and not from the Fed and all that Fed nonsense and all the members, blah blah blah, talking about rates going up, rates going down, rates going sideways. It's a bunch of hooey. Earnings is what's going to drive your stock, sales growth, earnings growth. So we're going to hear from these companies, and then that's what's going to drive the stock higher, not all this other BS. All right, Amazon, nice break above a downtrend line today as well. Um, yeah, you got to like that if you're an Amazon holder. Really, it just hit that high at 233, pulled back to you guess you could call it the 50. Close enough in spirit, right? And now broke above its downtrend line today, more than 2% higher. So Friday and today, Tuesday, very nice days for Amazon. Google, nice day for Google. This morning, I had news. It did not close well, though. I thought it was really going to ramp today above 200, and it just gave you the old okey doke there, the first 10 minutes, right? Yeah, got up 202, gave you the old okey doke, and adios muchachos into just hibernated all day. So it's okay, but I think you could just do better than these mega cap tech stocks. I really do. But we have to wait for earnings, and I think we're going to get. I'm going to get there in a minute here. But first, I got to finish my Batman stocks. NVIDIA marking time. Nothing wrong now that it's above the 50, but it's just marking time. Once again, I think you could do better. And I'm going to be. I just get too excited, man. We're in earnings season. We're going to see something like this. I guarantee it. No, I shouldn't guarantee it because there are no guarantees, but a breakout from a base and a rip like this from 90 to 400, we're going to get a move like this, and you want to get on it. I want to get on it. You got to watch, after hours before market and see these stocks breaking out of bases and ripping higher. Do you need to buy the bottom and sell the top? Do you need to buy here and sell here? No, you just can get the meat of the trade, right? You could just buy, this here, and you could just sell here. That's okay. That's a nice chunk of change right there, and it'll look good in your portfolio. Same with MicroStrategy. This stock is pissing me off. It went from 200 to 500, so, it had this classic pullback to a moving average and ripped higher, 200 to 500. Do you need to get all that? No, you could just take this trade from here to here, right? You would take that, 225 to 425, all right? And it's still below that now. It's really having trouble here, that 400 number. And yeah, with everything ripping today and Bitcoin up a lot, this thing's down 2%, just lagging. I cannot have that. Anyway, I digress. I've got to get to some of the other names here. I had NVIDIA, I had Broadcom, so I'm going to do the semiconductors first. And this is ALAB, Astera Labs, stock that had this big move here and now pulling back. Maybe wants to form a base. I think you could see here this little, three-wave down pattern. It had a wave, then ramped up. And I know people say, oh, it's a double bottom, and then it had the second leg down, rallied up, and now it's pulled back to its 50 today, essentially on that third leg down. It did not handle the downgrade today very well, down more than 6%. I'll give it that, with volume down to the 50. So I'm going to give it a couple of days to rally back through. And this one could appear on our ready list stock if it starts to bounce, nicely. We're just going to have to wait and see, but did not handle that downgrade well at all. Marvell is another one that I like. 126.15 would be an area of interest here. Probably needs more time because it has not been that long. Not certainly not as long as the Nasdaq. Yeah, what 12/16? I guess that is the day, right? Okay, that is the day the Nasdaq made the high, pulled back on the Powell shenanigans, and now has been kind of making the right side of this space. So I do like Marvell above that 126.15. And I mentioned early in this video that I had a ton of stocks on the watch list this weekend. I could not decide which stocks to put on, and I didn't want to put on just, 10 stocks in one group. I wanted one to represent the group, and today I selected, ARM for the semiconductor names. Yeah, I like Broadcom, I like ALAB, I like Marvell, but I like ARM. I like this setup here. It popped 4%. I don't know if anybody takes any of my trades, but their ideas are good ideas and they're out there. So ARM, I like the setup, and had that 164, pullback, broke above its downtrend line. I guess you could say essentially today with above average volume here, 32%. So ARM, I'm going to leave that thing on, and I think this thing can really move. Anyway, okay, we're in a narrative, really a narrative-based market with AI and data centers and software and hardware and energy and all that. And Masa Son from SoftBank owns part of ARM, and so they're making huge investments in this narrative of building out the AI infrastructure, and ALAB's going to get a part of that. ARM, NVIDIA, Broadcom, all of them. So anyway, that's my plan. I'm sticking to it. Another one that I put on the ready list today as I switch gears to the utility electric power names, obviously a top group here. This is VST set up in a cup with handle. Remember, I told you on Friday, they had the big fire at Moss Landing, which is the largest lithium battery storage plant, and the fire department there decided to just let it extinguish itself, let it burn out. And it only went down like, I don't know, less than 2% on Friday. And I said on the weekend video, that's a tell when a stock on negative news only goes down 1.8%. If they can't push it any lower, it's going to go higher. And all it did on Friday was just come back to the 10. If you didn't know anything about the news, you'd just say, well, look at this. It's set up in a base. It pulled back to its 10. It found support and popped. That's it. There's not much else to know about this stock. And when this thing breaks out, it can really move. I would call that, yeah, breakout today, big time. Yeah, 8.5%, $14. But you can see here, breakout here. This is a hell of a move. Another breakout here. This is a hell of a move. Consolidation, breakout, big move. So, do I think this is done? No. I think it's just getting started, actually. GEV, this one, another one that we had on the ready list. This thing's ramped hard, and they're reporting earnings tomorrow. Their earnings is going to impact the entire group. I would not be surprised if they report stellar earnings, give great guidance, who knows, maybe even announce a new contract, whatever, and still have the stock pull back below 400. That would not surprise me at all. But once again, can this stock move after breaking out? You bet your ass it can. It consolidated here in a base, and it just ripped, like, yeah, from 180 to 340. Thank you very much. Consolidated in a base. Just broke out like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And now followed up last week and today, just making a big move, closed near the high of the session. Yeah, this thing could also announce earnings and blast up 10% as well. That would not surprise me either. So anyway, if you hold that stock, congrats. It's been a killer. TLN, Talon Energy, another one that broke out from that 230 level. They reported earnings and sold off. Form this little base here, if you will. If you're a Darvis fan, you could say, oops, that's a little Darvis box, and it broke out firmly today, up 3.5%. So, and GEV is definitely going to move this group tomorrow. POWL, just forming a base here, but undercut the 50 now, rallied back through it. This is the one that had the negative response to earnings, up 10% today. The other one that I skipped was CEG. This broke out on news, government contract, pulled back one day. That's all you got, one day, and it's just off to the races. So this is a very strong group. This group is six. The VST group is 12. This is the alternative energy. All right. Let me move on. I think I'm done. No, I'm going to throw a couple other because I don't have any categories to put these ones in. This is VRT. Once again, consolidating in a base. This one looks a little bit like VST in that it's got this cup-shaped pattern, which I like. But VST had more of a handle. This one had this handle here. So this would be your high in the handle, an area where you think you'd want, an area of interest there, 135.33. Pull back, undercut the 50, and now it's ramping here up 5% today. So congrats to the longs there. But this thing to me hasn't even broken out yet. Once again, earnings February 19th. So we got, a month to wait for their earnings. CLS, like I said, I don't have a category for this one because I don't want to go through all of them. This is Kelly Slater on steroids here. It's surfing the monster waves, right? Big wave surfer, at Mavericks, 100-foot waves. Jeez Louise, come on, man. So you're saying, how do I get into this? I want to own this one. How do you get into it? You just close your eyes, plug your nose, and press the button. No, you probably buy a quarter, and if it pulls back, like one day it pulls back, you could add more. Scale into it, I guess is what I'm saying. It does pull back, though. It doesn't go up every day. You could see these little pullbacks here. I know a lot of friends of mine like want to get into it. Some of them own it, and some want to get in. They're jealous, and I don't do the jealous thing. I don't care. I'm happy for them that they own it. I don't own it, but definitely just acknowledging strength here. OKLO, going back to the energy names, the nuclear stocks are going nuclear, and the space stocks are going into space here. Talk about narratives. This one was up 20% today. Sam Altman there at the White House, kissing the ring and donating money and doing what they have to do. So, what else we got? Nuclear. I said nuclear. Yes, there we go. 30% move for nano nuclear. And the last one is SMR. And I'm going to get off this space because I have a lot of other stuff to get to. Yeah, up 17% in new scale. Yeah, these things, in that alternative energy space. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to change up. We're going to fly the friendly skies, not sky. We're going to go to SKYW. This one in a cup with handle pattern and broke out 5% today. Very nice. Another one that I had United on the ready list last week or the week before. I think it was last week. Made a strong move. And now this one was set up. I didn't put it on. Like I said, there was just so many. I just couldn't get to them all. ALK, and this is kind of the boomer trade, right? Alaska, trending higher as well, looking good. Delta Airlines. Um, yeah, this is kind of the boomer trade. I might as well go to Viking. Gosh, nice breakout. And then which was the other one? RCL and CCL. Yeah, these things look great. This is still actionable here. I mentioned CCL. I thought that one was down today, but yeah, still actionable. All right. I'm going to move on because I skipped my energy group. I was going to go from the energy alternative to these building, heavy construction. They're building out the data centers as well. I did have this one on my ready list, but like I said, there's five others that I like in this group. I just picked one because I don't want to have five stocks, one group, because if they, at the rotation blows out of there and you have five stocks in one group, you're going to get crushed. This has the blue dot indicating relative strength, and yeah, nice move there. So if you got that one, congrats. On I call it power. It's Quanta Services. STRL is another one that I like. I didn't have it. I had power instead, or Quanta. This one undercut the 50 and rallied back through it today. Very nice move, up nearly 8%. So these ones are cooking. PRIM. I believe I had this one last week. I have this on my sheet here all over the place. PRIM. 84.97, is a buy point there, and it just blew right through it today at 5%. I actually did buy this one today, so I had to buy a couple in this space, Quanta and Primoris. This one is the first of all, it's a top 10 group, and this was a top stock in 2024. Oftentimes in stocks, are leaders in one year, it doesn't stop just because the calendar changes, and that's what you're seeing with, you know, GE Vernova and Vistra, and a lot of these same names are powering higher now that we got through the first couple weeks of January, which is always, a tough trading time. So things are looking a lot better. All right. Do I have more in this group? You betcha. MTZ is another one. Yeah, just breaking out and then trading higher. That one's not actionable. It's a little extended here, but still looking good. Oh, and AYI. I think I put this one on the list. I got to look at the list. I think I did. I had it written down. Like I said, there was more than 50 stocks that I had to choose from today. Pretty sure I selected AYI. I'd have to go back to my page, but up nearly 2%. You can see why I like it, consolidating in the base here. All right. Let's move on. I did the semiconductors, I did the energy plays, I did the construction, I did the airlines, the boomers, the the cruise lines. All right, some software. Net, I'm pretty sure I put this one on as well. God, I forget. Anyway, I like this stock. Why? Well, because it's consolidated in a base for a while. 119.42, and also it has a growth profile. I mean, you got to have some sales growth, right? That one looks good to me. In App 11, I mentioned this one earlier. Sure, this one's consolidating. Could it make another move like that? Yeah, it can. Why not? I like it above 350. It was down on the session today, but I wouldn't give up on that one at all. Service now, another one broke above its downtrend line last week, undercut the 50, rallied back through. Another one that I like, and of course Oracle, Larry Ellison, with Moss's son, Sam Altman, making investments. And so looks good for Oracle, up 7% today. Still below its 50 though, so it's got work to do. All right, man, that's a lot of stuff here. Oh, the last one I want to mention is SimRush because I just think this chart looks good. Stage one base, it looks choppy as hell on the daily, right? And it's straight up from the bottom, so it's bound to pull back and give us a handle. But breaking out of a stage one base, that's a move not to be ignored last week. Once again, considered putting this one on my ready list, and I didn't, but so I regret it because it made a 5% move, but still, it's not too late. It looks pretty darn good to me. That's SEMrush. Software. Okay, let's get out of the software and go to the internet. Once again, I wanted to put one on from this group, and I put on the Nebius Group NBIS, it was up for more than 4% today, which, most, times say, hey, it's a pretty good day. But the other one I wanted to put on was Reddit. I've had Reddit on a lot. It's one of my favorite stocks. I believe this one could be, with a good earnings report. This is one to watch for one of those blast off moves like it did last time, right? Went from 78 to 180. I mean, would you like that in your portfolio? Hell yeah. Why can't it do it again? Well, it can. Just a little consolidation here, a little bit of earnings on the 12th, and it's off to the races. I don't see why not. So I did put on NBS, but I like Reddit just as much. And this one was up 7.5%. So another nice day for Reddit. So I'm on the internet. I'm on the internet connection here, and this is Liquidity Services, another retail internet name that I like. Why? Well, it's making these higher lows consistently, higher highs, higher lows. Definition of an uptrend, and the last one, I guess it's internet, retail internet. You could order on your phone. DoorDash 181 is definitely an area of interest. It had pulled back recently to its 50 for the first time since this breakout, right? It's got that 81 number, pull back to the 50, found support, now making these higher highs. So yeah, Dash, it just depends on your time frame here. I think Dash longer term is going to be a model book stock. That's just my opinion. I'm just guessing here. I'm not predicting, but it wouldn't surprise me. dash just because of the business model and how lazy Americans are. No, I'm kidding. People like to get, stuff delivered to them anyway. All right, I'm gonna move on before I get in trouble. All right, today Adidas, ADDYY, they, if you've been paying attention to the retail data sales and the Christmas shopping, these retail stocks are gonna kill it at Christmas. I swear to you, not all of them, but some of them are taking market share. Adidas raised guidance today. They had a hell of a Christmas, and this is not even one of the big apparel shoe companies anymore. Look at how thin this thing is, 42,000 shares traded average per day, but up today nearly 6.5%. So of course my mind goes immediately to these other groups like Skechers popping 5 something%. I put on holdings on the ready list. Yeah, I like Deckers, I like On, and I like Crocs and Skechers too, but I just think On is taking market share on holdings from Nike, and this stock broke above its downtrend line on Friday, and I think that's why I put it on the red list. I'm pretty sure I did. Like I said, I don't have my page in front of me. I put 12 stocks on, and I had to choose out of more than 50. So you can imagine how agonizing it was over the weekend. But I'm glad a lot of them paid off today. 3.5% move. You could see that blue dot, and a lot of people are just holding this one longer term because it's look at the trend, right? If you just look at the weekly chart, the trend since the end of the bear market in 22, it's straight up. So, just hold it, right? Let it go through these bases. If that's your style, I can't do that. In my swing trading account, my retirement account, I certainly can because I kind of have to. But as a swing trader, I don't like these pullbacks. So it's just me. All right. Deckers. Another one that I had on the ready list recently, I don't think I had it on because I had on holdings, right? But 214.70, definitely an area of interest here. Um, made that high, pulled back, had this wacko day here. I don't know what day was that. What the hell happened to Deckers? There must have been some news here. But anyway, it faked you out, right? That's a fake out to shake people out down to 195 on the 13th. Nah, I'd have to go back and research that. I don't think they said anything, but it was probably just an index thing. All right. Anyway, Deckers is good. I like Deckers, and I swear I'm gonna go one more. I'm gonna go to Crocs. I like Crocs. Came down under 100 today. Once again, it keeps retesting that 100 level. I think this is one of your bargain. If you like bargains, if you like bottom fishing, I think they're going to have a good report on the 13th. So it'll be a Valentine's gift on Friday, on the day after. Excuse me. I think it's a Thursday, the 13th. Anyway, let me move on. Any more? Oh, yes, of course. I've got to mention these Christmas. Urban, obviously, they've had a great Christmas. The market knows it and it's rewarding it, ahead of the print. Yeah, Urban looks fantastic. Ollie, this is more of I guess I've never been to one, but a kind of like a bargain type of thing, yeah, discount. Anyway, undercut the 50, rallied hard. That one looks fantastic. The Gap CEO was at Davos and said a bunch of positive things and very sanguine. Broke above a downtrend line today, so you can't ignore that. That could end up on a ready list as well. I like that move. Just a lot of them. Brinkers going to the restaurant names. Jeez Louise. I mean, come on, man. That looks like CLS. Just big wave surfing here. And then DRI, which is your, Olive Garden, pull back to the 21, finding support. And that's a nice bounce there. So a lot of these retail names. And since I'm going to go to oil and gas, we're going to make a cute little segue because Murphy USA it's a retail mini market. It's got gas and it sells, from what I understand, great pizza. But anyway, it undercut the 200, tried to rally back above it today. And there was just, some oil and gas stocks that I like. They kind of took a breather today. I think oil was down a little bit. LB I had on my ready list as well. Nice 10% move with heavy volume. If you like that kind of thing, that's a hell of a breakout. There's your blue dot. So if you got that one, congrats, man. I had a lot of good picks today. I got to hand it to myself. I don't know, sometimes you just get lucky, folks. DTM. I could have gone down 10% as well. DTM midstream, another one, I'm a sucker for these patterns, these bases, because it gets all the sellers out of them, right? And then you see some buyers coming in, right? You see the selling, on the left side of the base, people are getting out of this stock. There's your pink bars. I'm out of here. And then we get some nibbling here, nibble, 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 and then it breaks out. So that's kind of why I like that type of pattern anyway. It doesn't always work in all markets, but it's working now. It worked for that one. All right, KMI, this is Kinder Morgan, another one of those bases kind of pull back to its 10 now. This one's broken out, just ripping higher, up 3% today. That's Kinder Morgan. Then KGS is Kodiak Gas Services. Another one here. I'm gonna find out this date. If that's the 16th, nope, it's the 11th. So it sold off before the 16th. Anyway, formed this little base and now ripping higher. All it did was undercut the 21, found support here, now blasting higher. So Kodiak Gas Services looks good. So I like the oil. I like the retail. I like the internet. I like the software, hardware. I like the energy. I like the boomer trade with the airlines and the cruise lines. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I like. And also, Nancy Pelosi likes TEM, this medical research stock. So it was up 35% today because I guess she bought some either stock or some call options. It's amazing how that works. Also in the medical is Intuitive Surgical. This is the king, I believe, of this group. Medical systems equipment with their Da Vinci. You can see the blue volume bars here as it broke out. Yeah, Intuitive Surgical looks fantastic. What else do I have in this space? I was kind of cruising around today, looking around. This is because it's so cold here, I can't golf. This is if you just kind of like bear with me here on the daily, like a cup with an elongated handle, so that 38.53 would be your buy point. And what it did is it pulled back here to its 10 and just popped today. So this is kind of a classic breakout. 23% move for Guardian, man. I don't even know what's going on with this thing. I just noticed the move. So got to look good there. And then there's Schrodinger. This is a software name still consolidating within a stage one base, but it broke above its moving averages with volume. 12% move. That's a move not to be ignored either. Um, and Schrodinger, what else do I have? Oh, I think that's it. I did have EXLS. I was watching this one, but this is a commercial services outsourcing, and it just broke out today, 5.5%. So nice move there with volume. Gosh, just a lot of good stuff going on. I did mention the space stocks. We're going in space for obvious reasons. The president's talking about, Mars and Musk. So these stocks, you know, they're bleeding, red ink, but they're going higher. So just acknowledging the price action here up 32% LUNR, another one in the space group. RDW, another one. These things are 50%. Nice move. And then, of course, you got your quantum stocks that are, bleeding red ink, but going higher. This Rigatoni was up 42%. QBTS up 20%. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess Barron's come out with an article saying these are takeover targets as well. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. I'm going to have a new ready list tomorrow morning. I see a lot of stocks still. They're not all going to break out. They're not all going to work. Some are going to fail and bomb. But I will have some new stocks tomorrow morning. Anyway, um, in honor of the great Steve Jobs, I do have one more thing. And I know a lot of you subscribe to Netflix because I saw the subscriber growth in Netflix and it was off the hook. And they like, I think the expectation was like 8 million. They had like 18. They more than doubled it. And, they raised prices, a couple different tiers of pricing going up $1 or $2. And the market likes it. It's up near 1,000, probably split again here, these guys, but undercut the 50 rallied back up. And you really like to see this. This is one of those, the old FANG stocks, Anyway, not talked about as much anymore with, the Magnificent Seven or whatever, but still, Netflix, great report. And I love to see this because this is where the action is. Earnings. What are they doing earnings wise? What are their sales? What is their earnings per share? That's what's going to drive your stock. And obviously, Wall Street's going to applaud their that quarter that was reported. It was a pretty stellar quarter for Netflix. This bodes well for the technology group tomorrow. All right. What else do I have? Oh, IBKR reported after hours. I was listening to their CEO. He's a little skeptical of the crypto group. But this one, once again, I'm going to put this one on because of the cup with handle, but they had earnings today. So might put it on tomorrow. It's at 3% after hours. It doesn't go too crazy. That one looks pretty good. What else? UAL. So these guys reported a killer quarter. Yeah, nearly 4%. And I believe your airlines group is probably going to rally tomorrow. UAL is a big one, 36 billion market cap. Who else reported? Seagate Technology, kind of your hardware name. This one's up 2.5%. So this really bodes well for tomorrow. And this is where I get excited, where the earnings season is here. We're not listening to, Jerome Powell and all the Fed heads talk about interest rates. We have no control of that. We do have control over buying stocks that are taking market share, that are delivering solid earnings growth, that are delivering, sales growth. I got to mention this morning we saw some as well. 3M, broke out of this base here. I did not have this on my radar list, but you got to acknowledge a breakout with that kind of volume here. That looks fantastic. There's just so many stocks that are looking great right now. PLD is REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. PLD is the ticker. They reported and rallied 7%, back through its moving averages. That looks fantastic. And then Schwab reported. I don't think the stock reacted too well. Oh, I'm full of it. Almost 6%. Hell yeah, that looks fantastic. Let's take a look at the weekly in Schwab. So anyway, these were their earnings this morning. We're going to get a hell of a lot more tomorrow. Like I said, the one I'm looking for tomorrow morning is GEV. They're going to report. I'm expecting a good report and hoping for a little bit of a sell-off back to a moving average. But we'll see. It could also, fail, and it could also just gap higher 10%. So I'm looking forward to that in the morning. There's a bunch of others too. Anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. Congrats to your Netflix longs. Going to be a great day for you tomorrow.